Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pauper Commander, Pauper Dragon Highlander, where today we are going to be talking about another commander from the Commander 2018 set, Thantis the Warweaver. 3 and John, 3 black, red, green, for a legendary creature spider. Thantis is a 5/5 with vigilance and reach, which means he doesn't tap when attacking, and he can block creatures with flying. And also, all creatures attack each combat if able, and whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, put a 1/1 counter on Thantis the Warweaver. She spins a web few can resist. Its sweet aroma sparks chaos in every heart. And this art is amazing, by the way. Not only is this just a very interesting and very fun looking commander, it has beautiful art, and it got me thinking. So, Urix with this is already a little out of the box. You're trying to play something that's a land and a creature, you're trying to play a bunch of spells, but also you want to just have him swing a bunch and not be blocked. It's kind of, Voltron is itself not a very offbeat strategy, but Voltron with almost no equipment, that's a bit different. But Thantis seems pretty basic. He's Jund, he is black for destroying threats, he is red for being aggro, and he is green for being aggro. He just seems like an aggro commander, which he is, but you gotta give him a little credit, because there's some interesting things that you can do. Now, before I go on to start talking about how I created this deck and what's in it, I'm going to tell you a quick little story. See, about 40 minutes ago, well, a couple hours for you, but about 40 minutes before I record this, I recorded the exact same thing. A Thantis the Warweaver Pauper video. 40 minutes long. And you know what happened? I clicked this button. Y'all see this? Instead of clicking, this one. Instead of clicking finish recorder, I clicked quit video recorder. So I lost 40 minutes of footage. So now I'm sitting here at 10 o'clock recording this for you. So I want you to leave a like, subscribe, tell your friends, because I need that right now. I just need, I gotta guess, I need some support when I'm up at 10 o'clock re-recording a video I recorded at 9 o'clock. It's just, oh boy. But you know what? I'm gonna give it my all for you guys, the viewers. All 6 of you who get to watch my videos. Also, I'm possibly sick. That was my story at the beginning of the original one, but now you get to hear about my re-recording. Anyways, I'm going to try and run through this really quick, because last time it took 40 minutes. I want this to take maybe like 30 minutes at most. I just really want to get through this. Our commander, Thantis the Warweaver. First thing you think when I looked at him was vigilance. If everything's attacking and only my guys can block because they're the ones that are left untapped, then I should be way better than everyone else, right? And also a card like Marchesa's Decree. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, that creature's controller loses 1 life. There's a couple like this. So punishing people for attacking you, making them lose life, having vigilant creatures that can block to just make you outlast everyone, right? And I thought that's pretty good. I have aggro, I have defense, and I have punish. That sounds good. But then I thought, why try and deal 40 damage to everyone when you only need to deal 10? And that's when I decided to make this an infect deck, which you may have already seen in the last when I clicked this tab a little bit earlier, but oh boy, if you don't know what infect is this fun little thing where every time a creature with infect damages a player, they take poison counters. So the full thing is it deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters and players in the form of poison counters. So this guy, this Pestilent Soul Eater, instead of dealing 3 damage and they go from 40 to 37, they stay at 40 life and they instead take 3 infect, which is poison counters. And that sounds kind of weird. Why would you want to give them poison counters? Because the best thing about poison counters is if you have 10 or more of them, you lose the game instantly as a state-based action. Which a state-based action is similar to saying if you have 0 or less life, you lose the game. Well, if you have 10 or more poison counters, you lose the game. So that's just something that instead of having to deal 40 damage in a commander game, I'm only going to deal 10 damage. And normally what happens with infect is you're attacking a bunch, you deal 10 damage to one person. This is all in like turn 3 or 4, and you're just killing someone as fast as you can, and then everyone catches up. And the other 2 players beat you all the way out of this game because you just can't do anything. You can't get your damage through. But as a recurring theme with Thantis, you'll see everything is tapped. They can't block because all their creatures are attacking. The only creatures they can block with are the ones they've put out that turn, which, because they have summoning sickness, they wouldn't be allowed to attack, or creatures they have with vigilance, or defender, which is not many. So the effect of infect is that in this deck, you can just be attacking, just deal a bunch of damage, and you have this opportunity to take it a bit slower than most infect decks. Instead of deal all the damage turns 1, 2, 3, now you can extend your game to turns 7, 8, 9. That's when you're striking with your infect creatures. The one big problem with that is that they are going to see it coming. They are going to be, because normally infect is a surprise. It's pow. You just got poisoned to death. Whereas this is more of a, I'm going to build up and swipe. So that can be a bit of a challenge, but something that you got to work through. Maybe you got to politic your way out. Maybe you got to just power through it. You'll see. You'll have to, that's something that you got to figure out with this deck. What you want to play with it. So, infect cards. First, we have Grafted Exoskeleton. 4 for an equipment and 2 to equip. Equipped creature is +2/+2 and infect. And whenever it becomes unattached from a permanent, sacrifice that permanent. I like this. You give extra power. You normally want to put this on like Thantis or something. That's probably because, think about that. You put out Thantis, turn 1, 3 creatures attack you of him being out. So this is turn 6, round 6. You put out Thantis, then 3 creatures attack you. He's now a 8/8. Okay. So next turn you have 6 mana because you had 6 mana to cast him. You gotta have 6 mana to cast and equip this. He's now a 10/10, and you just swing and kill someone out of nowhere. They're just dead. And that's just something that's really powerful. So I found a couple others. Glistening Oil. 2 black. Or black, I should say. Because it's not 2 into black, it's black and black. You know, semantics. Whatever. Enchant creature has infect. Okay. another one that's just giving him infect, being able to let Thantis deal this infect damage and and kill people. Also, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a -1/-1 counter on enchanted creature. Okay, that's kind of bad. It's a downside. But with Thantis' 1/1 counters that he gets every time you're attacked, which you're going to be attacked, it's kind of negligible, or it's negligible, I guess. I don't know. There's a word I was looking for. Phyresis. 1 to black. Enchant creature has infect. Alright. Tainted Strike. Instant. Give a creature +1/+0 in infect. So let's say they have taken 4 infect. You swing with Thantis. They think, oh, he's just a 5/5. You know what? I'm not going to block this time, because I'm just going to let that damage through. I'd rather block, say, your Phyrexian Hydra, which we'll get to. Well, you say, well, I'm just going to pay a black, Tainted Strike. Now he's a 6/5 with infect, and dead. It's kind of just something, this infect, that just kind of starts where it's maybe there's a little bit, and then it just kind of builds up, and then turns 7, 8, 9, out of the blue, you're just killing people left and right. So if they let you live long enough, you're just kind of the whole table gone. Playing commander with 20 different people, you just kill them all. Infect. No, you're not. There's no way. That's a joke. I wish. I think I had a statement there I was gonna make. Insert funny joke here. Did you laugh at that funny joke that I just inserted in post? Well, if you want more where that came from, you should like, comment, and subscribe for more. Funny jokes and pauses in the middle of sentences. Haha. Share with your friends. Anyways, let's get into the infect creatures. Besides being able to make Thantis an infect, we have our own set of creatures. Pestilent Soul Eater, 5 for a 3/3. Gives him, and then you can pay black or 2 life to give him infect. 6 for a 5/5 infect, and attacks after each turn available, which doesn't matter because we're doing that anyways. And he is Phyrexian Juggernaut. Core Prowler, 4 for a 2/2 with infect. And when he's put into the graveyard, Proliferate, which means anything with a counter on it, you can add another counter. His 1/1 counters, give him another. Poison counters, give him another one. Great. Cyst Bearer, 2 and a green, 2/3 infect. 3 green, 7/7 infect. Now, he does have a downside. If he's dealt damage, you prevent that damage and give him -1/-1 counters, which means he gets smaller every time he takes damage. But when everything is tapped and nothing's blocking, he's a 7/7 for infect. That's just power. This is power. Phyrexian Swarmlord, 4 green, 4/4 infect, and at the beginning of your upkeep, for each poison counter your opponents have, you create a 1/1 insect creature token with infect. An insect with infect. Yes, that is what I said. Granted, they do have summoning sickness, so they can't attack the turn they're created, but every time they can be used as blockers, they can save them and then just have more things to deal infect. They're great. 2 black, 4/5 infect for the Vat Mother, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you get a poison counter. You get a poison counter. You get a poison counter. We all get poison counters. So there is slight trouble with this because you don't really want to get yourself infected down to 10 poison counters. But if Phyrexian Vat Mother is out for 10 turns and you haven't won yet and you haven't lost yet, it's about time for that game to end. The only problem that could happen is if someone else is also running infect, but the odds of that are very low. Like, this is the Commander games in total, and this at the bottom of that little box that I'm in, this is how many you see infect in. This is the bar graph. There's a big difference. You don't see much infect against you, so don't worry too much. Putrefax. Trample, haste, infect. At the beginning of the end, tap sacrifice Putrefax. He's a 5/3, so he's 5 infect damage, but only really one time. But that's still good. That's 5 damage. He dies at the end of turn. He has haste though, so you just get through 5 infect, 5 poison counters. It's not like it's going to be doing 7 turnly, but it can attack the turn it comes out. And maybe there's someone you're worried about. Maybe they killed all your creatures, but they're all tapped out because they had to attack. Now you just say, okay, you're scaring me. I'm going to cast this, kill you, and then it dies. And now I'm not worried about you anymore. Scourge. Wait. Nope. It's not coming. I had a sneeze. It's gone. That's one of the worst feelings in the world. When you're about to sneeze and then you just don't. If you look into a bright light, it makes you a lot more likely to actually sneeze. That's what I was doing. I have a light over here, over there. That's where my light's coming from. So, I was looking there, just hoping I would sneeze, but oh, that's just uncomfortable now. Three infect, 2/2 infect, and if he's attacking a creature you've already poisoned, he's a 3/3 infect. 6 mana, 4 green for a 3/4 infect, and even if they block him, if they somehow manage to do that, they kill Thantis a bunch of times, he's not out. Even if they block him, you can still just say, well, I'm just gonna pretend that you didn't do that, and I'm just gonna deal 3 infect damage anyways. Tel'Jalad. 3/1 infect, toxic nim, 4/1 regenerate infect. Yeah, pay a black to regenerate. He's a 4 black. The 1 toughness is normally a problem, but in a deck where everything's tapped, nothing's being able to block, 1 toughness is not a big deal, especially since you can pay 1 to regenerate the toxic nim. Alright, so next category, we want to make sure that everything's attacking. You can't just have your commander. You always have to be ready for if your commander has been killed 3 times and he costs 12 mana and you can't afford it. What are you going to do? Nothing's attacking. Your deck is stopped. You hit a standstill and everyone's now protected themselves against the infect. You need redundancy, which is where war effects come in. Avatar of Slaughter, 6 red. All creatures have double strike and attack each turn Fable. He's an 8/8. So that is 16 damage turnly. Along with Thantis, even without infect, that's 2 turns to kill someone. That's really powerful. But the main thing is just all your infects have double strike. All of theirs have double strike, but that's not a big deal. They need to deal 20 damage. You now only need to deal 5. That's insanely easy. Single hit from Putrefax, you just kill someone. Single hit from the Perfection Juggernaut, they just die. Single hit from Toxic Nim after they've taken 2 infect, they're dead. It's just insane how quickly you can kill after this gets out. But the big thing is that attack each turn of Fable. It's the war effect. The war effect just means everything attacks each turn of Fable. Warmonger Hellkite. This one doesn't like showing up in the tapped out deck for some reason. Warmonger Hellkite. Flying. All creatures attack each combat Fable, and he has fire breathing, but for your whole team. 1 into red, attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. That's all of them. That's good, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. 5/5. Grand Melee, all creatures attack and all creatures block each turn of Fable. Total War. Anytime a player declares an attack, anything that they had that wasn't a wall and does not have summoning sickness, which means it didn't come in that turn, that didn't attack, dies. So you attack with one thing, you attack with everything, basically. Same with War's Toll. If one creature in opponent controls attacks, all creatures attack. And also, whenever they tap a land for mana, all lands they have tap for mana. Fumiko the Lowblood. Creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able. Also has Bushido X, but that's not important in this deck. You can look that up if you want to. I'm not going to talk about it. I just want to get through this. Trove of Temptation. Each opponent must attack you or a planeswalker you control with at least one creature each combat if able. Great. Works well with this guy because anytime that creature, because it means you're guaranteed getting a 1/1 counter every time someone attacks. Every combat step they attack in, you're getting a 1/1 counter. But also, at the end of each of your turns, you get a treasure, which is tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. That is a very powerful thing in a 3-color deck to make sure you get the right colors of mana. So yeah, you have that. And that is all the war effects. So we have 7 war effects, 8 including Thantis. And those are just 8 redundancies to make sure that you always have someone that's forcing your opponents to attack you, or to attack in general, so that way you can get through with your infects. Next we have the attack bonus, which is going off of Warmonger. Attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. Okay, so all your infects can get +1/+0. That's powerful. But how much more can we do that? Well, let's see. Thunderstaff. If it's untapped, as long as it's untapped, if a creature would deal combat damage to you, prevent 1 of that damage. Okay, that's good. So you can stop some damage. But also, if you need to, 2 into tap for attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. Nice. Warhorn. 3 mana artifact. Attacking creatures you control get +1/+0. Cultivator of Blades. This one's interesting. 3 green for a 1/1. Okay. Fabricate 2. When it enters the battlefield, you either put 2 1/1 counters on it, which makes it a 3/3, or you create 2 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature tokens. Now, in certain decks, you want to create the servos. In this one, you want the power. You want it to be a 3/3, because whenever it attacks, you may have other attacking creatures get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is its power. Imagine that with Warhorn. All your creatures get +1/+0. Say you have a Tel'Gelad, it's a 3/1. Alright, now it's going to attack. It gets +1. It's a 4/1. Okay, where is he? It's here. Cultivator of Blades says, well, you also get XX, which is equal to my power, because I'm attacking too. So that would be 3/3. But with Warhorn, that's 4, because he's a 4/3. So you get 4/4, which means this Tel'Gelad, with only these 3 cards in play, has now just done 4 + 4, 8 infect damage in 1 hit from a 3/1. That's pretty powerful. Oh god, my nose. Investigator Gang. Attacking creatures you control get +1/+0. He's a werewolf, and you know what that means. If no spells were cast, you transform him into a werewolf. If 2 spells were cast, you put him back. Which you can read the exact text, but that's basically what it means. Someone doesn't cast anything on a turn, which never happens in Commander, then you would get to transform him. But, you know, that's not the big deal. He does have his Wild Blood Pact, which is his transformed state. Attacking creatures you control get +3/+0. If you get that, great. If you don't, he's still +1/+0, which is just good. I'll get back to you. Warmonger Hellkite, we talked about you. Gruul War Chant. 2 red, green, enchantment. Attacking creatures you control get +1/+0 and menace. Menace means if they are blocked, they must be blocked by 2 creatures. You cannot block a creature with menace with only 1 creature. Orcish Oriflame. 3 into red. Attacking creature you control get +1/+0. Hit and run. Hit says you choose one of them to cast. Hit is, because this is a sideways card, it's I don't know if it really shows it that well on this, but that's how it works. Hit says target player sacrifices an artifact or a creature. Okay, that's pretty good. that can go well against Voltron, as we know. Making someone sacrifice things is always good against when they only have one creature that's out. And that player, it takes damage equal to the permanent's converted mana cost. Okay, that's just pretty good. But what we really like is run. Like, hit is something that if we need it, we can use it, but run is the good effect here that we're really looking at. Attacking creatures you control for 3 and red and green get +1/+0 until end of turn for each other attacking creature. So if you have 2 attacking creatures, they each get +1/+0. If you have 3 attacking creatures, they each get +2/+0, and so on and so forth. And if you have 5 attacking creatures, they all get +4/+0. Think about that. You could attack one person with 2 creatures, one person with 2 creatures, and one person with 1 creature that's maybe big, and they all get +4/+0, and you could just wipe the board with Infect, or almost wipe the board, you know? That's just pretty powerful. Finally, Pyrewild Shaman. Almost forgot. He is a 3/1 for 2 and a red. Okay, that's decent. He has this Blood Rush ability. For 1 and a red, discard him, and target attacking creatures gets +3/+1. So it only affects 1 creature. It doesn't give all your creatures, just 1 attacking creature. Okay, that's pretty I mean, would you want to pay 2 mana just to give a creature +3/+1 to deal 3 extra damage? It's an instant spell, because obviously it has to target an attacking creature, so it would have to be instant. But what does that really do for us? Not much. But if you could repeat it, then it turns into something that can be pretty useful. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, if Pyrewild Shaman is in your graveyard, you may pay 3 and return it to your hand. Okay, so you pay 1 and a red, discard him, and give a creature +3. Maybe that finishes someone off with Infect. With Infect, it can. Any positive thing can make any menial creature into a just end someone's game with that. Okay, so for 2 mana you can end someone's game, and then for an additional 3, so this is 5 mana now, you just brought it back to your hand, ready to use it again. You can just keep going. It's reusable, and that makes it into something that's just really powerful. You're not going to be playing him. He's not useful to play. You just discard him, recast him, or discard him, bring him back to your hand, discard, go back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth, and just use that to get extra power on the board. Get some extra Infects. Great. I'm sorry. Next, we have Battlecry. Battlecry says, when this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0. Effectively an attack bonus for our Infectors, but just on some other creatures. Signal Pest is 1 for a 0/1. Goblin War Driver is red, not 2 and a red. He's red. God, semantics again. This is why this is an unfinished thought. 2/2 with Battlecry. 2 and red. 4/2 Battlecry haste, and when he attacks, creatures with power 1 or less can't block. 4 and a red for a 4/4 Battlecry, attacks each turn of Fable. Well, he is anyway, so it doesn't matter. Vigilance. These are all just creatures that don't tap when they attack. They're all blockers. They are our only things that are going to be stopping. They're all decent-sized creatures that can just get out there and block some attacks. Make sure we don't die while we're trying to kill everyone else. The important 3 things here are Sight of the Scale Lords, which is 4 and a green. At the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures you control toughness 4 or greater get +2/+2 and gain vigilance. Okay, so all of these creatures that are going to have power for toughness 4 or greater, so not Darksteel, sometimes, almost always, you should have a Woodland Wanderer with 4 or greater power. They will get +2/+2 in vigilance, so extra power. Extra power to your Phyrexian Juggernaut, if he loads. Extra power to this guy, Phyrexian Hydra. Extra power to Phyrexian Swarmlord, Phyrexian Batmother. All of those guys just get extra damage that are getting through. Spinebiter, extra 2 power. And Vigilance, so they can block something if they need to. Next we have Gorm the Great. Actually, I'll get back to Gorm the Great, because he bleeds into another category. Next we have Rurik Thar, the Unbowed. Vigilance Reach. He has 4 and red-green for a 6/6 Vigilance Reach, which is same abilities he has, but he has different other abilities. He attacks each combat if able, okay. And whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, he deals 6 damage to that player. That's just free damage. And who doesn't like free damage? I have the hiccups. Oh boy. Alright, let's end this quick. Okay, Gorm the Great, right. I was about to forget that guy. 3 into green for a 2/7. Vigilance, obviously because he's in the Vigilance category. Must be blocked if able, and must be blocked by 2 or more creatures if able. Which, that's really good. You can get through something just to make sure you get through your infect damage. But he also has Partner with Virtus the Veiled, which means when he enters the battlefield, target player may put Virtus the Veiled from their hand into their hand from their library, then shuffle. It's kind of, the wording is a bit weird, but basically you search your library for Virtus the Veiled and put it into your hand. Okay. Well, who's Virtus the Veiled? Well, this is Virtus the Veiled. 2 into black for a 1/1 Azra Assassin, partner with Gorm the Great. When Virtus enters the battlefield, you search your library for a Gorm the Great, put it into your hand. He also has Death Touch, which means any damage he deals is enough to kill a creature. Okay. And when he deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life rounded up. Someone's at 40 life. Maybe you're not working on Infect, but you know that you can get through Virtus the Veiled. So, you attack. You deal 1 damage. They're at 39. And now, immediately, they lose 20 more life. That's 21 damage. All from 1 little attack. So that can be really powerful if everything's tapped and nothing can block, you can get through something like this, which is really powerful. Now, I don't want you thinking too highly of this. This is a bit misleading. That some people might think, well, if someone's at 40 life, I can deal 21 commander damage, because he's a legendary creature. So if I were to make a commander deck with Virtus the Veiled as my commander, and I dealt 21 commander damage in 1 swing, right? No. You have to be very careful about the wording here. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life. So, since commander damage has to be from combat damage dealt, he does not deal an additional combat damage equal to half their life. He makes them lose that. So, he only deals 1 commander damage on each hit. Just something to keep in mind. Other things in the other category. Loyal Guardian. 4 and a green. This is a card from Commander 2018. He is a Rhino with he's a 4/4 Rhino with Trample and Lieutenant. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, okay, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Boost all our creatures. Extra power and permanent boosts. So even if he dies, they still have those boosts. That's just pretty good. Briar Patch. If everyone's attacking, we want to punish them for attacking us. But instead of making us lose life, like Marchesa's Decree, making them lose life, not us lose life, making them lose life, instead we'll just say we take less damage, because whenever a creature attacks you, it gets -1/-0. Extinguish All Hope and Forced March. These are board wipes, because sometimes you just need to get rid of all the creatures on the board. X black, destroy all creatures with converted mana cost X or less, or 4 and black, destroy all non-enchantment creatures, which is normally all creatures. Alright, so that is, unblocked Orcish Squatters, 4 and red. Attacks and isn't blocked. You may gain control of target land. Defending player controls. I should admit, I'm reading that a bit fast. Whenever Orcish Squatters attacks and isn't blocked, and when everything's tapped and can't block, he will not be blocked. You may gain control of target land defending player controls until Orcish Squatters leaves the battlefield. If you do, he does not deal combat damage. We don't care if he doesn't deal 2 combat damage. We're dealing infect. But being able to take lands from people, that's just free mana and taking it away from them. So that's just a powerful effect. And Stromgald Spy. Similar, if Stromgald Spy attacks and is not blocked, you may choose to have it deal no combat damage to the defending player. Again, it's 2 damage. We don't care. If you do so, that player must play with his or her hand revealed until he leaves play. That means every single person on the table can now see what that person has in their hand, which is a really powerful effect. So, yeah, let's get into the price. According to Card Kingdom, the cost of our deck, all 77 non-basic land cards, $26.74. I feel like when I did it last time, the price was like a little bit lower. Did these cards increase in price by like 10 cents within... Okay, that's actually kind of funny. Within the last 40 minutes, or I guess a little, like almost an hour and a half now, the cards changed price. That's hilarious. I find that hilarious. But yeah, this is a little bit above the $25 that I promised you. But we still do have Thantis in there, and without the commander, the price of all these cards at near mint, mint, or light play is $24.25. That was it wasn't as good as drumroll last time. The drumroll in the first recording was on point. This one was could have been better. $24.25, which is under our 25. Oh, what happened? What are you doing? Okay, $24.25 plus whatever this costs. This is a land. We can just do that here. Become Refuge, which costs, as you can see, the cheapest one is here, 20 cents. So $24.45. That's a good cost. I mean, for a commander deck that can actually do pretty good. I mean, Arixmethus is kind of iffy. Joven is very iffy. This one is pretty solid as far as just commander decks go. So, that's it. This is Thantis the Warweaver, Infect style. And I will see you all next time. Bye. I said bye. Why are you still here? What's that? The card in the corner. One in our sideboard? What's this? Crown of Doom. Okay. 3-cost artifact. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, it gets +2/+0? Why would I want that? Oh, there's something more. I see. Let's read that. I pay 2, and target player other than Crown of Doom's owner gains control of it. Activate this ability only during your turn. Well, okay, I guess I just want to get rid of it and give it to someone else, because then they can't, because I'm its owner, so they couldn't give it back to me. This actually, I think this is pretty good. I can give bonus to my infect. I can make it easy who I want to choose, because I just attack whoever has the Crown of Doom. Right? This sounds pretty good. So why isn't it in the main deck? Well, it's actually quite simple. If you go to Card Kingdom, look up Crown of Doom, you will notice that it is out of stock. Completely. That's the only reason. I did have this in the deck originally, and I would probably put it in the deck anyways, but if you're planning to buy just off of the just go to Card Kingdom and buy the entire deck all at once, you will not be able to get Crown of Doom. If I were to replace anything with it, probably I might replace Futurefacts, but that's not as important. What's important is that you have to keep in mind certain cards that might not be available to you because of out of stock, because of price changes. Things are going to change. This deck is not always going to be $24.45. It's going to change. Changed within the time of me recording this video. So yeah, Crown of Doom, something you might want to consider if it's in stock when you're buying. Or if you might want to consider if you just want to buy it from a site not at Card Kingdom. But, Card Kingdom is a very reliable site, so I do suggest normally buying it there. I'm not going to go over, I didn't really mention this time. Ramp is just basic, get more lands out, it's green ramp. Land base, there are a lot of 2-color lands. There is 1 3-color, this which one? Savage lands, yeah. And then there's a couple that are just any color that you can do, or there's this one which is mana fixing. I'm not going to go over that either because it's now already a longer video than last time, and I don't have the time for that, and I want to sleep and get out of this suit. It is so hot in here. I just want to. I'm just gonna ending the video. Interesting and creative outro. Bye.